Hi, so I quickly wanted to cover how BooleanMaths helps with multi-touch attribution and why it's incredibly important. So, if you're running ads or retention across Meta, Google, and other retention channels, then what's invariably going to happen is there's going to be a lot of overlap between these two channels. So, if you look at the numbers that is being tracked in Meta's dashboard, you won't see actual meta impact. You will see meta's true impact plus all the view only conversions that actually have no relevance to final conversion. All the returning customers that have converted regardless of meta's ads, and all the channel overlap that is currently being ignored by meta because meta only looks at its own conversions. If you want a true picture of how your ads or retention channels are doing, what you really need is multi-touch attribution. How do we do it? So the first step to do it is tracking user journeys entirely from end to end. Like we are tracking this particular user journey from it the day it started on February 5th, and after five channels, five touch points is finally converted today via Google Pay touch point. Similarly, we can look at any other journey. Yeah, so this one converted from a WhatsApp channel today, but it was actually discovered by a Facebook channel 5 days back. Now, this is what powers all our attribution models and our final channel summary. So you can see that over here. So I can see exactly what the ad spend on Meta and Google are. This comes from our integration with Meta and Google Ads. All the different platform metrics. So basically, how many clicks, interaction, CPC, CPM, CTR, all of that. But then it's supplemented by the data that we are tracking. So while Meta claims they're using 855 orders, similarly while Google claims they're using 377 orders, we are tracking actual orders that can be tied back 100% to this particular channel. So these are all the orders that can be tied back exactly to Meta. And what's the contribution that Meta has on this particular order? So for example, for this particular order, there must be at least 10 touch points, out of which probably one is Meta. Yeah, so you can see that there's multiple touch points. Out of that, only one touch point is within February. And that's why February's meta ad campaigns get 10% credit, while the rest of the credit will go to older meta ad campaigns. Yeah. Uh, there's a few ways to slice and dice this data. So one is you can look at order date versus click date. We recommend click date because it ties conversions back to the day the ad spend happened. So if you spent on an ad in February, we will only show you ad clicks and resulting conversions from February. If you go to order date, then we'll show you all orders that happened in February, regardless of when the ad click happened. Similarly, we have four attribution models. You can choose from a first touch model, last touch, linear touch, or an any touch model. So a recommendation really is to use first touch for discovery campaigns, last touch for conversion campaigns, and linear touch uh, as a generic for evaluating across different funnels. And finally, we have two data modes, standard and edge. So in a standard data mode, we only use sessions which are 100% belong to the same user. Let's quickly show an example. Let's go back to this example itself. So yeah, this particular user converted from a certain device and browser combination, giving us a visitor ID for that particular session. Now this visitor ID was also tracked on these older sessions, which were all Meta Facebook paid sessions only. However, this visitor ID, uh, okay, however, these three sessions, which also happened from Facebook, were happened from the same device, same IP, and had same browsing behavior, even if they did not have the same browser details. So it's possible that these sessions happen on a different browser while these sessions happen on a different browser. And so we are able to merge these three sessions with the rest of the user journey. So we're able to bring two disconnected user journeys that happen across two browsers into one. And that's what enrichment is. We are essentially adding missing sessions to your user journey so that your user journey is more complete. Let's quickly see what happens when I switch from standard to enriched. So one thing that happens when you switch from standard to enriched is you see a lot more overlap between Meta and Google. So currently you can see there's 23% overlap between Meta and Google. But if I go back to standard, the overlap will be less than 2%. Because in standard mode, you won't detect overlap between Meta, which is opening in WebView browser, and Google, that is opening in your native browser. They'll be seen as two different user journeys. So unless we merge these two different browser sessions together, you're not going to see any overlap. Going back to this, we can further segment this into different placements, different retention campaigns, and similarly different ad campaigns. So every single ad set, and campaign is tracked meticulously. So for every single campaign, I'll have what the true ROAS is, what the profit on ad spend is, what the comparative ad platform ROAS is, what's the return on ad spend share from new customers, and what's the returning customer share as well. Yeah. And also what's the revenue, what's the profit against those particular ads, and what's the contribution margin of those particular ads. Yeah, and that's how this feature works.